New Zealand and South Africa played at Eden Park in Auckland, New Zealand. Well, the teams for the match, one change in the New Zealand lineup. Mark Greatbatch coming in with John Wright having shoulder problems. New Zealand captained by Martin Crowe. Kepler Wessels captaining South Africa, and they have a very good fielding lineup. Tertius Bosch comes into the side from that defeated Australia. He replaces Merrick Pringle. We pick up the game in the fourth over, and it's Andrew Hudson facing the off-spinners of Deepak Patel.
He'll have a go for it. I think he's got to have a go for it. He's got a bottom edge, and that'll go for 4. Because I don't think Patel's going to have the fun that he had there against Australia with these blokes. Make the most of it, son, because I think that mid-wicket boundary is going to take a bit of a pummeling.
Yes, Andrew Hudson goes on the sweep here. The ball's just a little bit too full, flicks him on the pad, but goes down fine, four leg byes.
Oh, he's bowled him. That's a dreadful shot. Frustration creeping into Hudson's game there. I think he was trying to get it away into the mid-wicket area, lifted his head a little bit. The ball turned slowly back, hit the stumps, and Hudson on his way back to the pavilion. The New Zealanders have got off to a good start.
Deepak Patel been frustrating Hudson, just turns a fraction on him. Hudson looking to attack that mid-wicket boundary, and disaster for South Africa. 1 wicket for 8.
That's Peter Kirsten, the number 3 for South Africa. Oh, he's gone. Wessels is caught behind, playing at a wide delivery. He's been very, very subdued so far, getting a little frustrated. It was short. He normally plays that cut shot very well. I think it probably bounced a little more than he expected. Hit the top edge of the bat, went flying away to the keeper. Good catch, this one. That's the end of Kepler Wessels. Big blow for South Africa.
Yes, Willie Watson there showing his delight. The ball just leaving Kepler slightly. He wasn't quite in line. 2 for 10.
And the new batsman is Hansi Cronje, just 22 years of age.
As Martin Crowe, he's in complete control here at the moment. He looks so confident, making 100 first up with the bat. 30 minutes short mid-wicket. 2 catches close to the wicket on the off and on side. Oh, he sweeps an outside off stump. Not really going to Patel, hand on head.
Cronje aware of the fact that at some stage South Africa are going to need runs today, trying to play around with Deepak Patel there, not connecting, not making the most of it.
The chance if he hits, there's a throw. Oh, that was close. Was that Harris? That was Cairns, I think, coming in. Well, he had him cold. If he hit the stumps, he was the guy that ran out Dean Jones with that magnificent throw last Saturday here at Eden Park. This time he misses.
Cronje desperate to look for the single here. Hits it very firmly to Chris Cairns there. Throw comes in well and would have left Cronje just stranded short there had he hit the stumps.
Pressure on South Africa now to lift their run rate. There's an indication there that quick single. That's a great shot. Cairns misses, that's 4. Peter Kirsten using his feet breaks the shackles for South Africa.
Well, this is the answer for the South African batsman, Peter Kirsten, a very good player of spin. He's not averse to laying back to cut, to going down the wicket on this occasion. He's used his feet well. He's found the gap. He's just beaten the sprawling dive there. Could have got a hand on it, but it's beaten the fielder, Chris Cairns, and gone down to the boundary for 4 runs.
As Chris Harris comes into the attack. Big shout, he's gone, is he? Sure, yes! That's the 3rd wicket down. New Zealand on top here at Eden Park. A little gentle push outside the line, so Harris strikes with his first delivery and the crowd's gone mad.
Well, things certainly going for New Zealand here. Hansi Cronje will be a very unhappy man there. A very ineffective dab. He's just trying to run the ball down to 3rd man there. A ball of full length outside the off stump. Ian Smith, a very simple catch. Pillar Reporter, no problems giving it out. And South Africa 3 for 29.
Keeper David Richardson joins Peter Kirsten.
hesitation there. Finally, Richardson is home, not without some fear and trepidation.
But this is typical of the New Zealand fielding at the moment. Really putting pressure. A little bit of indecision there between the two batsmen. Had that a hit? Well, you can judge for yourself. But South Africa certainly struggling.
That's pretty well hit. It's going to be wide of the long on there. Andrew Jones. So a much needed boundary for South Africa. It's 3 for 39 after 20. And it's going to be Rod Latham. And hasn't got away with that one. Peter Kirsten has had some trouble placing the ball today, but misplaced too many of those shots.
Yes, I think the South Africans here want to see short pitch deliveries just like that. Peter Kirsten really delighted to receive a short pitch delivery which he can get away. The South Africa really tied down present.
Pilu reporter at the southern end. India.
Yeah, the ball just nips back at Peter Kirsten. He's on the front foot, outside the line, and the umpire had no hesitation in giving it not out.
There's an example of how much easier it is to thump the ball and to place it well off the back foot.
Yes, Peter Kirsten has hit one the last over off Latham on the leg side, pitch short. And here Larson comes in short again, and that, just as Ian was saying, that's exactly where they really want the New Zealand bowlers to be bowling.
A vital stage. It's very important Rod Latham gets his length right here. It's hit straight down the ground. That's beautifully placed. Fine shot.
Yes, this is a good shot by Dave Richardson. The South African's been tied down, and here Latham comes on, pitches it up. Dave Richardson plays right through it, one bounce into the side screen, 4 runs.
That's a super shot. Goes again, it's in the air. That's not caught. Half volley at cover. Greatbatch, Mark Greatbatch diving to his left, a little bit slow to get in. Gathered it well on the half volley.
Dave Richardson mustn't get too impatient here. They've already got 5 off the over, and Rod Latham seems to be the player to get after. Yeah, he gets after that one, and it just bounces in front of Mark Greatbatch.
It's going to be Chris Hands coming into the attack because Rod Latham's proved far too expensive. He's chipped away for 4. He's found the leg stump and an extra pace. Peter Kirsten brings up a fine 50. In fact, it's a magnificent 50 in the context of the match. He's held South Africa together. He batted very well against Australia at the Sydney Cricket Ground. He's gone on here today. It's a very good round of applause from this big crowd.
Peter Kirsten here just picks it up over Martin Crowe, who's in there short, looking to save the single at the short boundary, and it's 4 runs. Kirsten goes to 50.
Cover to 3 for 92 because Kirsten and Richardson have consolidated. Richardson now on 24, very valuable contribution to work across Eden Park. Glorious day. Patel bowls in his final over. He's thrashed down to long off. Almost a great save by Rod Latham, but one feels it's not his day. 19 off 2 overs, dive full length, knocked it down, and it rebounded into the ropes.
Yeah, Peter Kirsten gets down the wicket to Patel, over cover, and Latham desperately tries to save it. He pushes it forward and over the boundary.
Oh, it's a sign of confidence. The old sweep shot waiting for the ball to come, and he hit it fine for 4. Superb timing.
This is a brilliant shot by Kirsten. No one down there, fine on the leg side. And he's well forward long before the ball's bowled and just lays a bat on it. Great touch. 4 runs.
Out. Caught it mid-on. He tried to hit that through the offside field. It hit the inside edge, or certainly the inside part of the bat, and looped up towards mid-on. And so that's the end of Richardson. Out, caught trying to get on with the over 8 there. You can see him pulling it away to the mid-on side, and Larson taking the catch.
Well, Dave Richardson had been giving Peter Kirsten good support there. 28 he made. Well, somewhat agricultural shot there. A lot of bottom hand coming into it. And South Africa now 4 for 108.
Adrian Caper is the new batsman. He's a big hitter. Well, that's a short delivery. I think it's a no ball. Surely, yes, no ball called, and the Indian umpire's running in, pointing, and oh, there's going to be a run out. There's going to be yes, he's out now, run out. Now the Indian umpire's out of position. Now he's giving him out. My goodness, it's all happening out there. I don't think the batsman heard the no ball call. The only way he can get out of a no ball is run out, and that's what's happened. And in fact, the Indian umpire very nearly got himself into a terrible situation there. He was running across towards his colleague for some reason, signalling no ball, and then all of a sudden he was involved with a decision which was a run-out decision. So up goes the hand. That's not out. In comes the ball, and the bowler there putting his head down, and have a look at all of this carry on. Well, eventually he's run out, and so the end result was, well, on the one hand, he wasn't out because of the no ball. He ended up being run out. That really was a comedy of errors. 5 for 110. Well, there it is. The new batsman for South Africa, Jonty Rhodes. Eden Park in Auckland. Straight back over his head. He tried to pull it a little squarer than that. And perhaps rushed onto him, but it's quicker than he expected. Jonty Rhodes back to the second.
Not quite where Jonty Rhodes intended this. Effective nonetheless. It's 2 runs.
In the air and out. Good catch. Well taken. Jonty Rhodes out. Caught at mid-wicket. Martin Crowe diving away to his right. Beautifully taken. So Rhodes, who had to really try and get on with it, is on his way back to the pavilion.
Jonty Rhodes again hits the ball in the air, picks it up off his toes. Brilliant diving catch by Martin Crowe at mid-wicket. He's been very, very sharp there over the years. Lets very little go by. Safe pair of hands, gets both hands onto it. Jonty Rhodes out for 6. South Africa now 6 for 121 and struggling.
This is Brian McMillan, the South African all-rounder.
That's a good shot. Beautifully placed.
There's Peter Kirsten now making an assault on this New Zealand bowling. And here Chris Cairns comes in, drops it short. Kirsten coming down the wicket, in fact, to him, dragging it straight over mid-wicket at the short boundary. Kirsten showing his intentions here. South Africa's king pin batted so wonderfully against Australia early in the week.
Just away from the long off. Rod Latham is the man in that position. Took him a while to get his placement right, Peter Kirsten, but he's certainly got it sorted out now.
Peter Kirsten here just gives himself a little bit of room. Willie Watson, who's been bringing it back, he bowled it wide outside the off stump, and Kirsten attacked that short boundary. 4 runs.
No ball, I think, was called. And that certainly heard a shout. Yes, it was the umpire shouting no ball. Doesn't always mean just because an umpire has said no that it's no ball. I do recall one experience in South Africa where Doug Walters was caught on the boundary after the umpire screamed out no, and the umpire, his excuse was that he hadn't got the ball part of the call out.
I think one of the interesting features of the World Cup to date, Ian, is that there's been 18 run-outs in the tournament to date, and New Zealand have featured in 6 of those run-outs, so that's a very high percentage. And I think that just typifies the way the New Zealand team has fielded in the last 3 matches. It's been quite outstanding.
Long on. And Chris Cairns. Well taken. He knew the boundary line was just behind him. I think Kirsten felt that he might have an opportunity of clearing it. He knew the fieldsman was there and took up the challenge. Tremendous innings. Pity it wasn't rewarded with a century.
Well, that's a magnificent innings by Peter Kirsten. As I say, the only one really to adapt to the pitch conditions out there. Coming down the wicket, give himself a little bit of room. Chris Cairns away down there in the deep mid-on boundary. Takes a well-judged catch. And that's a big wicket for New Zealand because Kirsten has scored his runs pretty quickly on these conditions. And it's 162 for 7 in the 47th over.
Richard Snell, he's the new man out there.
This is Cairns now. It's also the last over. He's hit that one. It's going down towards mid-wicket. One bounce into the fence for 4. So that's a good shot from McMillan right into the gap.
Well, I suspect we're going to see about 6 of these sorts of shots coming into the last over here. It's a do-or-die thing now for South Africa, as they need as many as they can get. They can still be competitive with the score that they will end up with. It's Brian McMillan, who is a big man, and I'm sure he'll be looking to flog it far wide and handsome. Try and get it over that boundary, try and get a couple of 6s, if not 4s. He's the one, obviously, that must have the strike.
Blocked that area now. They've moved a man in to mid-wicket. That's a good shot too. He'll get 2 here. There was a fumble down there, but that won't change it. The gap now is at third man. If they can get one away fine through that slip cordon area. They brought the third man up to what would be a deep gully, I suppose. And they've moved a man into the gap at deep mid-wicket.
So Cairns has certainly got to be bowling at middle and leg. If there's anything outside the off stump, certainly going to be 4. It can be dabbed away down there. That vacant third man position. It's well bowled.
That's the place to bowl him, right up in the block hole, isn't it? What you can do about them. So McMillan just wanting to have a chat with his opposite number. This may have something to do, Richard, with we might just have to run for everything here, no matter what happens.
Yes, they do. And the thing about bowling full, of course, right at the stumps, if the batsman missed the new hit, and if you bowl full, it can only go one way. It can only go really straight in the V. If you bowl a little bit short, you can be hit anywhere in the paddock at all.
They run to the keeper, even if he misses it. He doesn't. Back for the second. Yes, they're coming back for the second. The throw is wide. McMillan, I think, came down the pitch and said, listen, we have to run for everything. And then all of a sudden decided that there may not be 2 there. Had the throw been to the non-striker's end and straight, he would have been in real trouble.
Yes, sloppy cricket there by New Zealand. That ball should have come in a lot quicker and a better return than that. But well run by South Africa. I mean, they've got to run for everything, as you say, Tony. And even if they lose a wicket, well, that's tough. But it's the runs on the board, and every run counts. It's very precious out there. They're very hard to come by.
184 the score. 2 balls to go. Just chipped that in the air. Will they come back for the second? Yes, they will.
Yes, that's good running again, putting a lot of pressure in the New Zealand field that tends to be crumbling just a little bit in this last over. The idea is still quite a big field out there, and 2's relatively easy. Brian McMillan, he decided there was 2 there. As soon as that ball left the bat, he was running 2. Last ball of the innings.
11 runs of the over so far. That's a good shot. Will that be 4? Yes, it will. Into the fence. A good way to finish for South Africa. So the score now moves on to 7 down for 190.
Well, once again, a slow, low pitch here at Eden Park in Auckland, and the South African batsman having a bit of trouble coming to terms with it. That is all apart from Peter Kirsten with a magnificent 90. He was finally caught on the long-on boundary, and what a very good innings that was from him. 10 fours in that innings. He got good support from, firstly, the keeper, David Richardson, and then Brian McMillan playing well at the end with 33 not out. South Africa making 7 for 190 from their 50 overs. Good bowling from most of the New Zealanders. Willie Watson, who started out with Deepak Patel, he picked up a couple of wickets. Patel 1 wicket, and 2 wickets to Chris Cairns, who wasn't used until 6 changed. Rod Latham there taking a bit of stick from his 2 overs. OK, let's now see what the response is from New Zealand.
And it's almost a full house. Not quite full, but I'd say there was 27,000 here last Saturday. I'd say there's 30,000 today. A few more in the terraces.
Over the top, good shot. You can do this at the beginning of a one-day match. You really do take the pressure off. That's a lovely shot. All the fieldsmen inside the circle, and away she goes for 4. New Zealand are off to a good start. No wicket for 11. South Africa need quick wickets. Into the gap again. The New Zealanders have decided to go for it from the word go, and that's into the fence for 4-2. There's nothing much Wessels can do about this. He's got a third man and a fine leg back, and these Kiwis have decided to try and hit the ball over the top straight.
Super staff, that's a positive frame of mind. First Latham, now Greatbatch going to the onside against the faster Allan Donald. Hit that cleanly, just wide of the man at mid-on inside the circle.
Oh, that's gone high in the air, way down the ground. A magnificent hit. It's gone for 6. What a beauty. That has gone straight over the side screen. What a magnificent straight hit that was. Greatbatch giving it everything he's got. South Africa are in trouble here. New Zealand, no wicket for 30. And what a good shot that was. Magnificent straight hit. You won't get many better than that. In the air, into the gap. That's 4-2. The New Zealanders here are going berserk. It's been a long time since they've seen their side perform like this. They were absolutely thumped by England. And all of a sudden they beat Australia, and here they are now, giving the South Africans a real hammering. Well, Kepler Wessels is making a change. McMillan is being taken out of the attack, and Richard Snell is being brought into the attack.
Greatbatch going over the top again. It's going to run down very quickly for 4 runs through mid-wicket there. Plenty of space over the top of this field, and Greatbatch not shy to use it.
Well, Mark, Greatbatch has been very positive. The bottom hand coming in there, David, and typical left-hander shot from time to time, I suppose, isn't it? Well, one of my shots, not so much one of yours maybe, but it's the end result that counts.
It's going to be Tertius Bosch.
Well, you can't bowl there on this sort of pitch, short and wide outside the off stump. And Latham is very, very severe on that. I'm sure a lot of Australian batsmen would have loved to be facing that sort of delivery.
Well, Bosch will learn very quickly if he continues to bowl like that it's not the right thing to do. Rod Latham hitting that very firmly through the offside, and New Zealand reaching 50 off 63 balls. 30 runs off 40 balls. A very positive start from Mark Greatbatch. Well, that's gone a long way in the air, and it's 6 runs. It's cleared the short boundary. Umpire Pillar reporter apparently not quite sure, asking of Allan Donald, and confirming 6 runs there to Mark Greatbatch.
Well, that's Greatbatch's second 6 of the innings. Didn't quite get onto it. Wasn't going in the right place, David, was it? I think he was looking to hit it more over mid-off, but really got the bottom hand there and hitting it really over wide third man for 6. Quite an incredible shot.
That's a far better shot, more controlled. This time Greatbatch has middled the ball, hit it down behind square, found the gap well. 4 more runs, 10 runs off the first 2 balls of this Richard Snell over, and Richard Snell finding life a lot harder here at Eden Park than he did at the SCG a few days back.
It just goes to show you this game is in fact a great level. In fact, that's a beautifully executed shot there by Greatbatch. Probably one of his better shots in this innings.
And again, Kepler Wessels is forced to make a change. And it's now Adrian Caper.
It's too late, of course, though, David, isn't it? The way New Zealand are playing at the moment. In fact, really the bowling performance by South Africa rather hasn't been that impressive today. They've just failed to adapt to these conditions, and that is inexperience. And their fielding too is letting them down. It's not the same as the SCG performance, of course, against the Australians. Everything's gone wrong for South Africa today except winning the toss. And that's Mark Greatbatch's 50. And he's only taken in 50 balls. He's had 7 fours and 2 sixes. So that's been a marvellous innings by Mark Greatbatch, coming back into the side in the absence of John Wright, who's injured. And Greatbatch has taken this opportunity to the full.
More runs. And that's going to run away down to very fine leg there. Not going to be caught. Just seems that the New Zealand batsman, Mark Greatbatch, Rod Latham, just have to stand there to get runs today. And South Africans, in stark contrast to their performance at the SCG against Australia, learning very quickly that this game can change round in a big, big hurry.
And there's 6 more.
This is high again. It's hit a long, long way over mid-wicket. This is bouncing on top of the stand, it must be. There's no danger the fielder catching it. It's a shortish boundary there, but that would have cleared a lot bigger boundaries. That's New Zealand none for 103.
Vessel's trying everything with his bowling attack. He's now resorted to off spin in the form of Peter Kirsten, the top scorer. And he's done the job. Peter Kirsten has got through Greatbatch. Greatbatch was definitely in the mood to keep going. He's annoyed with himself, but he really has set things up for the New Zealand side. Peter Kirsten having a good day.
Yes, this is a breakthrough that South Africa certainly need in pretty desperate straits. And what a fine innings by Mark Greatbatch. Kirsten just throwing it up, middle and leg, turning slightly. Mark Greatbatch looking to hit it over mid-on, slightly against the spin, bowled. New Zealand 1 for 114.
Andrew Jones, the new man.
Yep.
Jonty Rhodes. Oh, and there's 5 now. So what was a sharp single turns into an easy 5 as things continue to go wrong for South Africa. Rod Latham just 1 short of his half-century. He and Mark Greatbatch got the New Zealanders' way to a terrific start.
And that brings up 50 for Rod Latham. Fine innings.
There was a suspicion earlier in the day that it wasn't quite going to be Rod Latham's day. 2 overs with the ball, cost 19 runs, but he's played very well here for 50. Came off 56 balls with 6 fours and 1 5, an unusual statistic, courtesy of an overthrow or 4. But he's certainly put New Zealand on track here, along with Mark Greatbatch. What is turning out to be, and certainly looking at the moment, to be a very easy victory.
It's a nice shot. They go all the way. So Andrew Jones getting into the act with a perfectly placed cover drive.
Peter Kirsten over pitching here. A nice juicy full toss. Andrew Jones saying thank you very much indeed. And it doesn't take long to get down to the extra cover boundary.
Richard Snell comes back into the attack. Match out for 60 out of only 60 balls faced. It's another fine shot. That'll be 4 more. Beautifully played. He's having a glorious afternoon, timing the ball well, placing it to perfection.
Richard Snell losing his line again, firing it in towards the legs of Rod Latham, who's timed this beautifully. Although the South Africans had a lot of trouble early in the day timing the ball, the New Zealanders have used the pace of the South African bowlers. And this is 4 more easy runs for Rod Latham.
56 off 61 balls faced. That's fantastic when you consider his partner was scoring at a run of ball as well.
That's right, Mark Greatbatch over a run of ball. And very unusual, of course, for opening batsmen to be going at that sort of rate. They normally take more time to see themselves in.
It's safe. All the luck, New Zealand. Just bounced short. He threw his boot out, a couple of vessels, kicked it away, but went for 4. So it's all happening for New Zealand at Eden Park. This will be 3 out of 3. What a great start in the World Cup for them.
Well, this sums up the day, I'm afraid, for South Africa. Kept the vessel, seeing that very late. In the end, it wasn't his hand he threw at it, it was the boot. Got something on it, but not enough to stop it going for 4. It's not helping Richard Snell's figures either.
It's gone, yes, straight to a couple of vessels that slip. That's the end of a fine innings from Rod Latham. And Richard Snell breaks through for the 2nd wicket.
Well taken by a couple of vessels that slipped. They're very safe hands. Standing slightly wide in a 2nd slip position there. A wicket for Richard Snell there in the middle of the South African bunch. Rod Latham's played very well. Between the 2 opening batsmen, Latham and Greatbatch, New Zealand have really taken this game away from the South Africans. Slightly wide, full drive, goes quickly to vessels there. And he'll be thinking, why couldn't we have done that about 27 overs ago? New Zealand, 2 for 155.
Ian Smith coming in at number 4, the 45-year-old wicketkeeper batsman. Good start by Smith, full toss, and he punches it away for 4. Wow, listen to the roar of the big crowd at Eden Park. Snell not getting it right. Smith coming in, finding the gap.
Well, Ian Smith promoted to number 4 in the order. And a nice friendly welcome there from Richard Snell. Full toss, a little bit of bottom hand. Ian Smith finds the gap. 4 more. Nice little birthday present. Ian Smith's birthday apparently a day or 2 ago. Showing that just because you turn 35, there's no reason you can't carry on playing.
Oh, he's gone down the ground again. Oh, wow. How about that? That's 4 more. Good afternoon, Mr. Snell.
Well, it looks as though Ian Smith has been promoted because he has an appointment somewhere else in the next half hour or so. And 2 balls, 2 fours, this time a length ball from Richard Snell. Disdainfully taken over the top by Ian Smith. 2 balls, 8 runs.
That's 4 more. That's 12 off 3. Ian Smith comes in and strikes 3 boundaries off the meat of the bat. It's 2 for 167. Wow, what a start by Ian Smith. 35 years of age, promoted into number 4 position by the Captain Martin Crowe. He didn't let him down.
Well, 3 fours in succession there. There's a variety of entertainment available in Auckland tonight. There's the Rod Stewart concert. Perhaps Ian Smith's got tickets for that.
Shot, that's 4 more. Oh, this is a batting exhibition worth seeing anywhere in the world. New Zealanders in sparkling touch.
Well, even if this game isn't going to last a full 100 overs, this New Zealand crowd here at Auckland being given full entertainment by their own batsmen. Andrew Jones joining in on the act. Immaculately played cover drive. Full-length delivery from Peter Kirsten.
Easy win by New Zealand is going to happen here as Allan Donald comes back into the attack. Ian Smith. It's gone again. That's 4 more. 4 fours and a single for Ian Smith. He's in good form.
Well, if he was given a message before he came out to bat, Martin Crowe's told him, look, net run rate could be important late in the competition. You just go out there, throw the bat. And this is the result. Another great shot. Hit it very high, very cleanly. 1 bounce into the fence, over mid-off. And this to South Africa's main strike bowler, Allan Donald.
Here comes again to Ian Smith. Smith's gone again. It's a good clean hit. Mid-off coming in. Should be gone. Yes, he's out. 19 runs off. About 10 balls for Ian Smith. Great entertainment. That's the 3rd wicket down. But New Zealand coasting to a big win here at Eden Park.
Well, Ian Smith can go and make his appointment wherever it is now in 20 minutes' time. He's entertained the crowd again. He's thrown the bat at virtually every ball. This time he's given himself room. He's aimed over mid-off. There's a man out there. Comes in comfortably. It's Peter Kirsten, who not looking very happy to have taken the catch. He knows this game is long lost. New Zealand now 3 for 179.
Martin Crowe joins Andrew Jones, and he'll be a very happy man, Martin Crowe, as we see there Smith holding out in the end for 19 of 8 balls, in fact. Peter Kirsten took the catch. Smith did his job. He just came in and entertained the crowd and made sure that New Zealand weren't going to lose their way by hanging around, pushing the ball. He just smashed the ball all over the place. That's a nice deflection as well. That go maybe not all the way, but certainly very close to it. Trying hard, and it goes all the way. The boundaries flowing here at Eden Park for the New Zealand batsmen who have placed the ball superbly.
Giving a long chase for Richard Snell from wide long leg. But again, enough pace on the ball. The timing good enough to take the ball through mid-wicket for 4. 4 more good runs to Andrew Jones. And he's been in fine touch this afternoon here at Eden Park.
3 for 187. 4 runs required by New Zealand to win this match as Bosch comes into the attack from the northern end. Jones 31, Crowe 2. That's through the covers. It may go all the way. The crowd roaring. No, they'll be cut off just inside the fence. They'll come back for 3. So the scores are level with 7 wickets in hand.
Tertius Bosch, the bowler from the north end. It doesn't look as though this is going to be a very long spell for him. The score is now tied. A very, very competent performances by the New Zealand team. They've been on top literally from the first ball of the day, the first 2 overs of the day maidens. Ever since then, it's been all New Zealand's way.
There it is. New Zealand win by 7 wickets. A magnificent performance at Eden Park in front of a big crowd. After 50 overs, South Africa 190. In reply, New Zealand 3 for 191.
Well, Martin Crowe has masterminded another New Zealand triumph. This is a very, very comfortable win with over 15 overs to spare. New Zealand top of the table.
Well, New Zealand made a bit of a mess of that required run rate of 3.82 thanks to a magnificent start from Mark Greatbatch and Rod Latham. Greatbatch it was with 68 off just 60 balls, 9 fours and 3 sixes, and Rod Latham with 60, 7 fours, a 5 in there thanks to some overthrows, and he faced just 69 balls. Andrew Jones 34 not out, Ian Smith with a quick fire 19, and the captain Martin Crowe had the luxury of just facing a few balls and seeing the winning runs hit. So plenty of overs to spare there for New Zealand in that victory, and they've now chalked up 3 out of 3. Not such a pretty sight for the South African bowlers. Donald was the most dangerous with 1 for 38 from 10 overs. Snell very expensive in picking up his wicket, and Kirsten bowled some tidy off spin, 1 for 22 off 7 overs. Not surprisingly, it was Mark Greatbatch who got the Man of the Match award. A terrific innings from